This footage is amazing.
Here it is. Okay, we'll stabilize it now. It's just the Sasquatch part only. What you'll do is you'll see it. It's going there. It just basically it is ducking through and kind of doing, kind of going around them and hides again. Well, one question is why there's red hair. Well, it's obviously probably the most common color other than dark brown in the sighting record. There's the Auburn Sasquatch in Seattle, and then 9 steps. And there's about 3 or 4 other videos that look kind of reddish. If you
see that one,
you'll get a couple really good views of the hair as it kind of moves in this way.
Look at this thing.
Good. Now, as the knee passes at the very beginning, you see the gray hand. Now, if you look at an orangutan, you'll see that pigmented line about halfway through it. That's very similar.
Yeah, because Bigfoot are orangutans.
You kind of see that right there. You see the thumb kind of comes right up to that. And the thumb goes, kind of matches the augmented line. Now, watch
We get
the
it.
same thing. You'll see a couple frames
This has happened in nature before. We get it.
that line.
He's a trip.
The gray hand down
I actually like this guy. So.
Yeah, Jack's cool, man. I haven't talked to him in years.
Now, if you look at the Miyaka has a hand shot where you can see the fingers push forward, and there you see, if you look at it, 3 clear fingers, the index, middle, and the ring finger as it's moving forward. And you can just barely see the thumb in the same position there.
I like this.
Like cupping, and this is
He talks about the cupping.
vestigial from
I have the exact same thing because I work with tools my entire life.
Right.
climbing and stuff like that. You'll see,
It comes with operating drills,
now let's look at the
You know what I
here.
like tools,
Yeah.
hammers, anything you squeeze. You know what I mean?
Some hammering.
2 little white dots. Now maybe nothing.
Look at this thing now.
Just looks so fluid, and eyes, if they were eyes, look almost yellow. As it goes
Yeah, I always thought this was real.
Same here, bro. Now here's the thing, right? Can you pause it?
I can.
All right, so we're looking at this video right now, right? And I'm here to tell you that there was a suit that looks exactly like this, and it was made by some college kids in this time frame. Now, whether or not this is Minnesota or the Pacific Northwest or wherever it is, I can tell you that when things like that come out after videos like this, which may or may not be real, but personally, I recognize this, as like a real, piece of footage.
Mm.
It just stabs me with doubt. You know what I mean? Like there's people. I think people tend to think that researchers, everything's Bigfoot. That's not the case. You know what I'm saying? Like everything's not Bigfoot, dude. You know what I mean? We get that. But it only makes it worse when there's some dickhead making costumes that look exactly the same color and exactly like with the hair hanging down. And there's parts of this video where you can see the hair's kind of hanging down. Like if you watch it from the beginning, you can see it's got like hair hanging, right?
Yeah.
There's sections of it, man, where it's hanging down. And you can see this thing's got some hair on it. There's a
My
red
thing is this. If you're going to get a video of a Bigfoot like this, that's about all you're going to get.
That's
Is
pretty
this.
damn good.
So for someone to go through the trouble of making a suit good enough, or a suit period, you would think they would do a little bit more than just this, maybe put some distance to it. And,
That's what
and
I'm
get-
saying. That's what I'm saying. You know what I mean?
this is not enough to me for a host.
Yeah.
This is what you're going to get probably when you're filming Sasquatch. The thing that doesn't go with it is any context whatsoever. There's no before, there's no what were you doing, there's no after, which is how you and I are going to change the game.
Yeah, man. Yeah. Well, I mean, if you look at the time period here, we're talking about Facebook Find Bigfoot had like 86,000 members. That was a big Facebook group. And Jack had a hell of a following. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Jack's mistake, I think, in interviewing him for the first time, he was reticent to join on Crypto Reality because back then I was like straightforward asking shit. You know what I mean? And he made a commitment online talking about Rick Dyer's tent video. And he said that is absolutely 100% a Sasquatch. I'll stake my reputation on it. And if it turns out to be a hoax, I'll close Facebook, find Bigfoot, and I'll get out of Bigfoot forever. And that's exactly what happened.
Man.
Exactly what happened. And
hyperbole, you know?
Yeah.
He kept his word, I suppose.
Yeah, it was a damn shame because Jack was a hell of a breakdown guy.
We were all fooled. I don't know. I gave some credence to the tent peeker. The only problem was Rick Dyer got it.
Yeah.
He just completely and totally destroyed himself. And when I thought for a while, this whole thing with Rick Dyer in 2008, when he calls this whole press conference, who does that? Who calls a press conference to say they have a hoax? So I thought this is what happened. He got this thing, this body, and what's his name shows up, Biscardi, Tom Biscardi. That guy. They show up and like,
yeah, man. The refrigerator video. The refrigerator Bigfoot.
Yeah, the very first one where they were cops, and they call this press conference, right? And they step up there and say, "Look, hey, we were just kidding." Who does that? Why would you take it that far? So I'm thinking to myself, they got to him. If you come up with this, we're going to destroy your life, pretty much. So don't do this. This is the way I'm thinking at the time. And then I get to actually knowing a little bit about the guy, and I'm not so sure.
Well, you know what, man? with the tent video, we're going into the second national hoax, and he said it, man. He said, everybody, I'm going to do it again. Watch, it's going to be even bigger. Jack buys into it, the tent video, right? Now, here's the problem. Problem is Rick Dyer has footage of 3 different Bigfoot, right? He has footage of Hank. That's the tent video, right? That's the one he calls Hank. Well, then he goes on tour with what's supposed to be Hank's cadaver, and somehow Hank has grown hair all over his face.
Yeah, looks completely different.
After he's been dead.
And he's blue.
Yeah, dude. Yeah. And here's the thing. Those aren't the same Bigfoot. Now, this is the real kicker here. About 8 months later, I get an email. And in the email is a link. I go to a link. It takes me to a private YouTube video. And it is the director is now with Rick. It's footage of the director walking with Rick at night in the forest saying, "Don't shoot that thing, don't shoot that thing." And then a flashlight hits, and there is what appears to be a hominoid trying to walk away from Rick and the director. And the director is extremely disturbed, talking about, "Don't you shoot that fucking thing, don't shoot that fucking thing." And the flashlight comes on and off. Well, Rick shoots it. And the fucking thing turns around and comes in and grabs the camera.
Yeah, I saw that.
This is Bigfoot number 3, right? Okay?
Completely different.
This is the kicker. This is the 3rd individual that does not look like the other 2. So we got 3 different Bigfoot, a massive amount of confusion in the public's mind. And I'm saying to myself, what's real, right?